Based on my experience as a teacher, I am going to describe you some activities that I have done with my students when teaching pragmatics. This is the first activity. Politeness is more than please. The first activity, I asked the students some questions about politeness. Then, I passed out 3 letters, 2 in English and 1 in Spanish. Then, I asked the class to compare them and to find differences. Also, in the first activity, the students learned many terms related to pragmatics and politeness, such as friendliness and formality, negative and positive politeness, and what are indirect expressions. By doing this activity, the students were able to understand that politeness is more than just saying please. Activity 2. Polite ways of correcting or contradicting our conversation partner's assumptions. This is the second activity that I developed with my students, and that is also related with politeness. In the second activity, I presented to the students 2 sets of conversation, where the second line carried the pragmatic function of correction or contradiction in relation to the first speaker's statement. For example, if the person A says Tom is good at math, then the person B replies, actually he is not. In this case, the word actually functions as a pragmatic marker that makes the message sound more polite. Now I am going to show you part of my experience with the students implementing the activity number 1. Today we're going to talk about politeness. But first, I'm going to write some questions. Does anyone know what is politeness?
Politeness is being thoughtful, modest, and nice with other people. We are polite for 2 purposes: friendliness and formality.
Yes, you're right, Joel. Yes, politeness is just what Joel has said, and as you may know, politeness is also part of pragmatics. But can someone else tell me, why should we be polite?
If you are polite, you are more likely to achieve your objectives and get what you want. Also, people are more likely to take you seriously and deal with you in a good way.
Yes, I strongly agree with you, Verónica. Yeah, politeness is not only something that it is part of pragmatics, but it is also something that is important for our life. Because when you're polite, many doors will be open for you. So can someone tell me, how should we be polite?
You can be polite by avoiding negative words, saying sorry, and using little words to soften what you say.
Wow, that is a very interesting aspect about politeness and pragmatics that you have just mentioned, Judith. So, can you give me an example, please?
Sure, for example, don't say, I didn't catch that. Say, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Good, Judith. That's a good example. That's all for now, class. In the next section, we will learn more about how politeness differs from one language to another. For that reason, I want you to bring letters in Spanish for the next class, and I'll bring some in English, so that we can compare them.